Okay, so let's just jump into it. Just thought I'd give you a quick overview. People see this, but we do have a pretty good presence on social media, as you can see here. Our member counts fluctuate a little bit, but we have 1,139 people. The Facebook group is our own private Facebook group just for members. So if you're not a member on there, please ask and we'll accept you. Twitter is always growing, and Instagram as well. We share things in the public domain there. So lots of presence on social media. A little bit of news, and hopefully you've seen this in my newsletter and things like that I've sent out to you. But as we speak, we are now officially incorporated as a not-for-profit organization. We looked at doing this a number of years ago, but as I said to Paul today on the phone, as we go through this, there's a lot, anyway that's done this, there's a lot behind the scenes to do to become an incorporated not-for-profit with bylaws and organizing directors and an AGM and all kinds of stuff. So we decided not to go that route when we were a little bit smaller a number of years ago. And as we've grown to the size we are, we decided to go not-for-profit. So we're now, name hasn't changed. Tesla Owners Club of Ontario, but has Inc. after it. And what we're going to do is we're in the works right now planning an annual general meeting, which is a requirement as a not-for-profit. And that will be probably mid to late March, because we need to give everybody 30 days notice in advance of that meeting, as I say here. And we were going to give everybody access to log in and vote 2 weeks prior to the meeting. And that's to basically vote to make sure everybody understands the bylaws and for new directors and things like that. So there'll be an opportunity to do that. And if you have any questions about what you see and you don't want to vote in advance, then you can ask your questions at the meeting, and we'll have you finish your voting sort of live while the meeting is on, and hopefully tally everything at the end of that meeting. There will be 3 or 4 new directors. Some of the directors have stepped down that have been with me for the last number of years. And so there'll be some new directors, and then out of that, we'll be selecting some new officers. And those directors will be assigned things like heading up social media, sponsorship, chapters, to assign the new chapters. We've talked about many times, sub-chapters, and we're talking about sort of Barrie, Simcoe area and Kitchener-Waterloo, to talk about guest speakers and social functions and that type of thing. And then quite a lot of you, and thanks very much, have said you would help out in a volunteer basis. So I have those names, and once we get the directors to head up these different positions, we will reach out to you as volunteers and try to create committees so we can spread the workload amongst everybody, but also get multiple minds together to come up with some ideas. Because I know one of the things I saw on your questions to the club, and we've seen that for quite a while, when are we getting together again? When are we going to do social functions? All that will start to be planned as we get into March. So basically, that's the scoop there. I have been talking to some of the managers at the local Tesla service and sales centers. As you know, many of you know, we had Nassim, who's the regional manager for our area, on with us back in November. He's a great guy. I talk to him on a regular basis. We do have people periodically that have issues with service or delivery or whatever, and they reach out to me, and then I connect them with Nassim or some of his team, and we work on that. But I've also talked to the people at some of the various locations, Kitchener, Railside, and Oakville, and they're very eager to work with us on functions going forward, be it we're hoping to maybe plan some clinics to help you show how to work on your car, that things you can do on your own that you may not want to go to Bruno for, but just rotating your tires or changing an air filter or something, maybe a barbecue and that kind of thing. But they're very, very, very eager to continue working with us in that way. Again, you probably saw this, and if you follow social media, you've seen it as well, but Lime Ridge Mall is supposed to be opening later this year. We have kind of an interesting location across from the superchargers there in Hamilton, right in the mall. And they were waiting for some final approval or zoning or something from Hamilton, and that has been approved now. So of course now it'll take some time to gut the interior and get it all ready and up and running, but that'll be pretty good for people in the west end here. And also the location at 427 in Dundas. Now, Tesla's locked that up many, many years ago, frankly. And I don't know whether it was budgetary concerns or again zoning or whatever, but they've now started to work inside that. And typically they won't give us a time frame, but I think we'll expect early summer for that, hopefully at the latest. And if anybody knows the geography of the GTA here, it is just east of the 427 on Dundas in the old Evans Ford Lincoln building. So Evans Ford were there for years and years and years on the north side. And it actually is going to be a great facility because I used to work in there many times when I was doing training and consulting. And they've got a rooftop parking lot. They've got multiple loading bays and lots of garage bays and whatnot. So that should be a really good location and alleviate some of the stress for both sales and service for the other locations. And the other thing is, there's not any details really been announced yet, but they are well aware of areas that need help. And we know that Oakville is becoming almost overwhelmed with service, and they're looking to expand Oakville, not necessarily the facility, but some to expand to another facility very, very nearby. So that's in the works as well. And other than that, I would just encourage you, and many of you have done this, but to please stay in touch with me and any ideas you've got for social functions and gatherings and guest speakers. Especially, as I said, as we create these committees, it'd be good to get some ideas and feedback from you as members. And I know we did a survey, I think Paul was a couple of years ago, but we're probably sending another survey later on in the spring to get your feedback on club activities and things you'd like us to focus on. But please stay in touch with me either at my direct email, which most of you know, jdixon@teslaownersclub.ca, or hi George, or live TV, right? Or info@teslaownersclub.ca. The other thing is, I've mentioned this maybe a few times, but I will tell you that the Owners Club program worldwide, the best way to describe it, it's in a little bit of a state of flux right now. Some of you may or may not be aware, but we had somebody at head office down in Fremont, which is now Austin, I guess, but that worked with us directly from Tesla with all the clubs. And he was let go well over a year ago, and they replaced him with sort of a committee. And we've had very, very little activity with Tesla, with the overall Owners Club. There's clubs that would like to join, and they're sort of in limbo. And so I'm on a council with a few other clubs in North America to help us coordinate. I think there's 75 clubs for what we do. And we've had a few calls with Tesla. I haven't really got anywhere, but there's another call that they've asked us to come on next week where we want to talk about plans. And I think today, I'll probably see this very shortly, the European Union, the European clubs had a meeting with their Tesla management team over there today, and maybe we'll get an insight of what's going on with any ideas going forward. So we'll keep you advised of that, but I will say the club program overall, it's going very well here. We have a very good relationship with all our local Tesla people, but worldwide, especially North America, they really haven't made any plans. We used to have quarterly club meetings with all the clubs. We had updates sent to us. We could send ideas for them for new merchandise if we wanted, and all that's kind of in limbo right now. So that's about it. Before we jump into what's my next slide, it's probably thanking. Oh yeah, sorry. Saba that helps me with all this reminded me, just to remind you, I'm not sure if you've got the last one in there yet, Paul, but we do put these. Oh, sorry, the last one we couldn't record because it was Tesla. But anything that we can, like this meeting, they'll be recorded, and Paul edits them a little bit, and they're in the member zone. So anybody that's on this and you want to watch it again, or if you know somebody that couldn't see a live meeting, they are in the member zone to watch. I like to thank all the sponsors ahead of time because I always forget if it's at the end. So, they bring in income to help offset the things we do with the club, and especially leading up to this year where we do want to be much more active with you and in the community with functions and guest speakers and that type of thing. So I want to thank them all. We've really had a really good, I've sort of jumped into the sponsorship role a little bit here, and we've had most of the sponsors renew with us, and many of them have been with us 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And I know Bruno's already committed with his shop to renew with us. So that bodes well that they're getting great value as working with the club. I think we only had one drop off recently, and we have another 1 or 2 waiting in the wings that have to just solidify a few things. The one that I'm thinking of is going to bring some value in the way of aftermarket accessories and tires and wheels and all kinds of fun things like that. So I thought I'd mention that to you as well. So real quick, let's just jump in verbally while I've got it here to some of the questions you guys submitted to me. Somebody asked, can we get a note to the Tesla team to disable the automatic wiper requirement on autopilot? Autopilot and traffic aware cruise control is useless in the Canadian winter, is their comment. It just messes up the window. I brought that up with Nassim the other day. He said absolutely he agrees because he has a Tesla and he's not sure if they're working on it, but he's addressing it and trying to pass it on to them. So certainly they're aware of that. Is there any sort of easy access path? This is the second question to constructive suggestions to Tesla for future enhancements or requests. There really isn't. We used to have this person at head office, as I said, we could send things through and he had a direct connection to all the different departments. But right now, it takes, frankly, weeks for them to even get back to us. So what I would suggest, I certainly will do my best. So whatever you can suggest, and many people already do this, is send those things to me and I'll forward them on to whoever I can and see what we can do. Third question is, can we help fix the Collingwood superchargers? Well, I don't know if anybody wants to chime in on the chat there. I don't know whether they are fixed, but I can assure you, I do talk to Daniel, who again was out with us at the last meeting when Nassim spoke to us, that they're well aware in most cases when superchargers are down. They may not be aware of things like blocked with snow or things like that, but they're well aware. He said he really can't share the tech with us, but they have a live app and live applications that show them the status of the superchargers, and it's supposed to update in your car in theory, but they're well aware of that. I know lots of people post on social media, but most cases they're aware of what's going on, and I think they're doing their best as they grow. There's a lot more superchargers when we think about it the last couple of years, and it may be hard to stay on top of all of them all the time with only so many staff, but they are aware of that. Three or four people asked about the in-person meetings, things like cars and coffee and whatnot. So yes, we absolutely are going to address that. Another person asked about the discount from the Tesla shop. That went away. They took it away last year. Last year they were supposed to, you were supposed to sign up and get codes, and that was a debacle. Only some of you got codes and some of you didn't. And again, I really can't answer why, but they took that away. So whether it's going to come back, I really don't know. We've asked and they haven't really addressed it. But as a club, we again closed our own merchandise shop primarily because we had issues with supply chain. We were trying to fulfill things, together and then ship them all out at once. And some of the items were on back order. Our supplier was quite unreliable, frankly. And many of you probably saw that the shipping was not that competitive. It's very hard to get competitive shipping when you're only sending small items and you have no large quantities. So what we do plan on doing is buying things in bulk periodically. So, I mean, I do have toques. I have some mugs left, things like that. So if anybody's interested in those, please contact me. I'll try to figure out how to get them to you. But as many of you probably know, we do bring them out to our in-person meetings, which we'll have more. Sometimes things are free. Sometimes we charge extra for it. But, maybe it'll be baseball caps or shirts or something like that. But we will certainly look at that type of thing. Somebody asked about survey to ask owners about their experience, etc. So we are looking at that for sure. Somebody else asked about winter driving. So I'm not sure who that person was, but if you're on this call and you have some questions about winter driving, throw it into our chat. If we don't answer it, other people will. But there is tips that can help maintain your battery percentage, work with regen, that type of thing, and we can certainly help you collectively. What else we got here? I'm going to hold this question for Bruno because he's asking about battery degradation. So Bruno, we'll come back to that when the time comes for you. So that's about all I've got, I think. There's one question here in the Q&A. Let me try to get my mouse up there. Oh, there's a problem when I got two screens. I always say this. What have we got? Top Gear Wraps is a sponsor. So Tony, are they not getting back to you? Top Gear Wraps still is a sponsor. He's actually coming up for renewal and he's trying to decide his marketing budget if he's going to carry on, but they are a sponsor. So Tony, if he's not getting back to you, it's a small shop. It's a reliable shop, I will tell you, because I've dealt with them, but Brooks has to get back to people on his own. So if he's not getting back to you and you have some questions, whatever, just email me directly and I'll try to get a hold of it for you. Okay. So Bruno, go ahead and make sure your mic's on if it's not already, or George can help you with that. Sorry, what's going on? Let me just get back down here. Come on, John.
Should be unmuted.
Yeah, they should hear.
Yeah, you're unmuted. I've just got to, when I use two screens, I say this all the time, but here we go. So there's Bruno. Geez, had a little bit of hair back in that picture, buddy.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I'm going to read basically what we had in the email that's sent out to you. So Bruno's going to discuss the things that Evolution offer. I mean, this isn't meant to be a big commercial. He's going to indirectly get some business out of this. We know that, but we thought Bruno would be a really great resource to help you get work done on your Tesla, outside of warranty and for modification. So he's going to discuss what the Evolution can offer. He does things like maintenance in your car, can get you parts, upgrades to it, including the performance retrofits. I didn't really realize this until we contacted him a month or so ago. They will do paint protection film or PPF and wrap services. And he has a pretty unique offer there. And I think it's a lifetime warranty. Am I correct, Bruno?
It is on some packages, yes.
Okay.
Price changes.
Okay.
It's not a lifetime warranty on the installation, but it is a lifetime rock chip warranty. But
Okay.
there's prices. So packages are tailored based on what the customer needs, right?
Okay. So any questions, you can contact Bruno directly.
Yes.
Anything that's not offered in-house, he's glad to coordinate things like outside body work and windshield claims and take the lead on that, so that you're not having to deal with all kinds of multiple shops, and they can handle anything that you need to get done beginning to end, so clients don't need to deal with multiple shops, as he's saying here. So
That's what we try to do, John. We try to make it so that you can drop off your vehicle and we take care of everything. That way you don't have to worry about taking it here, there to do all these services. Any service that we don't do ourselves, we have people that we've chosen to come and do it here. We don't want the car to leave.
okay.
So like PPF, I don't actually do that myself. Over the years, I've dealt with many different people, and I think I've picked a really good team, and I make them
Okay.
shop, and we do it here. That way I get to quality control it, just make sure that everything's done the way that we want it to be done, right?
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you're to your standards. Okay, perfect. So before we jump right into it, so Bruno, just so everybody knows, Bruno's been I'm not sure exactly how many years, but a club member for a few years, and he's been a sponsor. Was this this past year, your first year or your second year as a club sponsor?
Second year club sponsor.
Second year, coming up into your third. Okay, great.
Year,
And you've been a Model S owner for quite some time, right? So tell us a little bit about why you bought a Tesla, how long you've had a Tesla, and then just a little bit about the shop in general, your background, and just a sort of an overview before we jump into the questions that the members have submitted here.
Sure. I've been working at Evolution for 23 years this year. Always been a tech, came up from service performance. I bought my Tesla 6 years ago, a signature Model S performance. And that's basically how all this started for me. The car
You bought that used, right? Yeah, obviously 6 years ago. Yeah.
I bought it used in beginning of 2017 with 40,000 kilometers.
Okay.
And, I bought it for the necessity just to save fuel. But after a month of owning the car, I knew like this is the future, and anybody that doesn't sign on, you're going to be left behind.
But Evolution wasn't really working on Teslas at that point.
No, we weren't. No.
And why was it called Evolution Racing? And now you're trying to make it like EV Evolution more into EVs as well. So what caused the change there? Primarily because of the Teslas?
Primarily me. When I bought the Tesla, that changed my view of what I wanted to be for a mechanic or a technician.
Right.
I knew that I wanted to do EV. So I kind of convinced everybody here at the shop to make the change. And now we're at like 60%, probably 70% of our clientele is all EV stuff. But when we originally started, it was performance. That's what we were doing. We were, making cars faster, racing. But now I don't want to focus so much on that. And that's why we made the change for the name, Evolution Racing. We don't want to focus too much on that. We want just evolution. Okay,
perfect. So let's just jump right into it here. I'm wondering what the best thing to do is, would you prefer going through your pictures to show the work and then we'll go to questions? Is that
Yeah, we can do that.
Hang on 1 second. Let me just see if I can get these pictures up. You guys seen the pictures or no? Probably not. I got to do a new share screen. Just a sec here. Hang on. Stand by. Why can't I? God, I hate this. Paul, I need to have you here live.
I can see the pictures now.
Oh, can you see the picture? Oh, yeah, they're on my, here they are on my other screen below here. Sorry. Okay, Bruno, just go ahead and I'll try to advance it here. As you tell us, I'm guessing this is you doing the red brake calipers, correct? Or is this actual brake
Yeah.
work?
This is actually a big brake upgrade for the new S and X. The cars, I don't know, the braking isn't the greatest on the plaids and stuff. So Mountain Pass makes a big brake conversion for new S and X. That's the new rotor, a lot bigger, better braking, and also shows powder coated calipers here.
What's the price like? I mean, I know compared to they're not even available anymore, but Tesla had I think it was a carbon brake upgrade package. It was like over 10 grand US. Just any idea what the ballpark is on that?
I think for carbon brakes, I think it's 25,000. Yeah,
Oh, well, what about this Mountain Pass stuff?
it's a lot cheaper. It's actually really good. It's a two-piece design, so it's lighter, helps with range. Braking is way better, and it's got anti-corrosion materials in it. So it's a definite improvement.
And that's on S and X.
And Mountain Pass actually developed that on Model S Plaid at Cayuga here in Ontario.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing there.
This is the front. Yep.
Okay.
This is actually a member of the club, Ray Wong. This is his
Yeah.
brand new Model X. We did the big brake conversion, powder coated calipers. We did a lot of work on that car. Custom wheels, lowering suspension.
Which model has he got?
It's a 22 Model X long range.
Oh, I think we see it in here. It's red, correct?
Yeah, red.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Some black Vosin wheels.
Yeah. So just to confirm here, the brake package comes from Mountain Pass, and then you take the calipers and get them painted or send them out to be painted or something.
Powder coating. We actually moved away from painting calipers. We find that it makes it worse. The seizing of it really hurts everything. Everything gets dirty, build up from brake dust.
Okay.
It starts flaking. So we only powder coat now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is a wrap that you're done.
This is another wrap that we did. Yep. This was actually done by Wrap Meisters, and it's a pistachio green, and it's a Model Y Performance.
Perfect.
This one's also on Mountain Pass coilovers. A lot of people find that the Model Y is too stiff, so they're upgrading to the coilovers just for a better ride.
And any idea, just ballpark on that?
For pricing?
Yeah.
Pricing changes. Mountain Pass deals only in USD, so we'd have to check their website and see what the exchange rate is every day.
But can you just ballpark me? Just a ballpark.
You're $3,800 for the coilover?
For four coilovers.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. There's the same car. So here's something interesting.
Yep. So those are belts. We can actually get belts redone in any color for any car. And those yellow, the first yellow, the brighter ones was actually on a different vehicle, but the darker yellow, or more goldish color, that was on a brand new Model S long range.
Oh, cool. So do you physically just swap the belts out with different material?
Yeah, it's the whole material that gets redone. Yeah, you can't modify a belt by law. The stitching and all that is very important. You can't compromise that. So this is actually new material.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you go. There
it is. Yeah.
Very cool.
That car came out really good.
And this is somebody that's done again. Is this brakes and calipers that painted a different color with the plaid?
Yeah, this is actually another member of the club, Hamza. It's a brand new plaid that we actually did matte PPF, so it takes away the shine, the gloss.
Yeah, I have that on my car.
PPF, we powder coated the calipers, did the big brake conversion from Mountain Pass, and we also did some alignment tricks for better launching because he's into drag racing that car. So.
Okay. I don't know why I keep on doing this. I just can't. Seems to get my mouse to work from one screen to another. Here we go. Is this a lithium ion?
No, it's not. That was That was just a replacement for a 12 volt, just to show that we also do that, right? We
Okay.
do all.
Can you do
so-
that? Have you swapped out anything from 12 volt to lithium ion?
I did one car, yeah.
Okay.
It was an aftermarket kit that the customer actually supplied and wanted us to install it.
Okay. Cool. What are we seeing here?
This shows our alignment machines and racks. So we can do all, we have actually brand new Hunter machines for alignment, radar calibration. We do tons of alignments on Tesla. Many
Okay,
times Tesla will actually not want to do alignments on the cars if they're modified in any way. So if you have aftermarket wheels, if the car's lowered, aftermarket suspension, they're starting to turn customers away, and they're actually sending them here. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was one of the questions that somebody popped in the chat here. Is there anything that you do to your knowledge that interferes with the warranty itself or voids the warranty?
For alignments and stuff like that, it will not void warranty. Modifications, it can void the warranty in that. So if you do aftermarket suspension, obviously you're voiding your warranty for the suspension. They can't warranty something that's not theirs. It shouldn't void other warranties like door handles, motor, battery, stuff like that, because we're not touching any high voltage stuff, right? And I tell the customer, I try to educate everybody that, you know, certain modifications can void the warranty, but Tesla's understanding. They're not just going to void warranties on the cars for little mods that you do. I've noticed lately tire sizes, that's a big issue. They are voiding warranties for drive units if you have the incorrect tire size. So when we sell a tire package here, we try to make sure that the tire sizes are correct.
Right.
Very important to be the correct overall diameter, right?
Okay, I'm just looking at a message to me there. Okay, great. So basically you're saying that Tesla's cooperating with you quite well.
Yeah, so far we've been okay. They know what we do, and you know, we try to let them know that we're trying to keep there's a lot of people that have Teslas that are off of warranty, and we're trying to keep the cars going to show them that, you know, these are good cars, right? You have to have aftermarket support, third-party support. You can't just, I mean, throw cars away, right?
Yeah, and I think back in the day, in the early days, I know that they were a little bit concerned dealing with third-party shops like yourself for whatever reason. And I think, you know, it's dawned on them that, you know, hence me talking about Lime Ridge and the Etobicoke and whatnot, that they just can't keep up with it. And as cars come out of warranty, sometimes Tesla's very cost prohibitive. We know many times, I think you and I talked about this, where they replace a whole module rather than an individual part, and that's just the way they are. It seems like whether it's to save time, you know, under warranty, that's their issue. But if the customer's paying and you can just fix a little part, but they won't do it because they want to replace the whole module, that could be number one, a time thing, and number two, it could be a training thing with the tech. The tech hasn't had the training on the individual little components. Who knows? But I do know that, you know, we now have two. Sorry, go ahead.
They're also corporate, so they can get a bad rep if not repaired correctly, right? So they want to limit their liabilities. So instead of replacing or spending time replacing a single part that might get the client going, you know, for a third or a quarter of the price, it doesn't make sense for them, right? Just replace the whole part, not have a comeback, and continue, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I understand their point too, and like you said, it's a new company. We know that every little thing that Tesla does wrong is in the news. Every little thing that they do right is not in the news. So they need to keep that in check, and I totally understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what else we got here?
Ceramic coating the calipers as well. So we do that in-house.
So that's basically to keep the dust down and makes it easier to clean, etc.
A lot easier to clean, yeah.
Okay, now what?
This is my card. So this is an interesting thing. My sunroof stopped working after 6 months of ownership of the car, and I left it like that for a while, but then decided to do all glass roof, like a 2018 plus. So that was that.
And you just source the roof yourself, like from a wrecked car or something like that, or?
I actually bought it new from Tesla.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. Well, that's actually legal. There you go. That leads me to another question. Are they fairly cooperative getting parts from them?
So we're actually approved. We went through a process. So we have a portal that we order directly from Tesla online.
Oh, good.
We had to show pictures, show what the shop was about, and we got approved. So
And you deal like primarily with Vaughn, I guess, because they're so close.
no, we're actually not allowed to buy from any of the service centers. No,
They ship them, you order them and then ship directly.
it's shipped directly from Tesla. Yep.
Oh, excellent. Perfect. So that's, there you are there.
That's the roof in.
Okay, now what? Some sort of suspension here?
Yeah, so that was a Model Y. I'm not sure. I think you posted something about this. I had a client, or I have a client that has a disability, and her.
Oh, yes. There's a
Yeah.
picture in here, I think, coming up somewhere. There's,
Yeah, Brittany, a white Model Y.
yeah, it's probably buried in here. It'll probably come onto it here in a minute.
Anyway, that car there, her dream was to have a Tesla. She has a disability. She's in a wheelchair. So she came to us to get the hand controls working, and her issue was getting in and out of it. The car was just a little too high for her to get in and out easily with the chair. So
Right.
we actually put air ride, kind of
Okay,
like suspension like the Model S and X, but it's fully adjustable through a control that she has on the dash. She can slam the car right down to the ground, makes it a lot easier for getting in and out.
oh, wow.
This is
Very
showing the level sensors. It actually has level sensors like an S and X. So any weight that she adds into the car, whether it be, things in the back or 4 people, 5 people in the car, it'll always adjust to the height that she requests.
Perfect. Very
Yeah.
cool. There's the same thing. That's the same, that's the compressor.
That's the front setup. Yep. That's the car all the way down there. You can see we did some more modifications too. So skirts, we did bigger wheels. That's coming out this summer. So
Where do you get your those carbon fiber parts? Are they real or they look like
these
carbon
are
fiber?
these are real. Yeah, we're a CMST tuning distributor.
Okay,
So we get directly from them. That's all CMST. Side skirts, the fog light grills there, front lip. She has the rear diffuser. They make steering wheels basically to whatever spec the client wants.
yeah, I think you had a picture in here too of a white steering wheel, right?
Yeah,
What are we seeing here?
that's for interior. So that shows the controls.
Okay,
Little control on the left, kind of like a cell phone.
right, right.
And you can do it from your phone too.
And there's the rear.
Yep,
diffuser.
the rear diffuser and the spoiler.
Cool. There she is. Yeah,
There she is. Yep.
excellent.
Yeah, she was very happy.
Good for you. So there's Ray's car. Is that Ray? No,
Yep, that is right.
Ray.
Yep.
So that's the one where you did the brakes and the calipers.
Yep.
And it looked like different wheels, right?
22-inch rosin wheels. We also did a special controller that goes in line with the factory air controller, which he can use his phone as well to lower and raise the car.
Cool. And then looked at mirror caps on there.
No, we actually just wrapped them in gloss black PPF.
Oh, cool. Very cool. What are we seeing here?
Oh, that's Zach from California. He's a big Tesla influencer on Twitter.
Right.
He was in town for a bit, so we did an alignment on his car.
Cool.
He's got a lot of unplugged performance products, and he races with them on a regular basis.
And what about this?
So this is showing a factory setup, brake setup that comes on long range cars. You'll notice long range cars are not powder coated. They don't have the red caliper.
Right.
We find that this is a big cause of it seizing up. We have regen braking, so we don't use the brakes as often. And these calipers are raw material, the raw aluminum. So the corrosion builds up quite quickly. We find that powder coating any color. I mean, sometimes people just want black or silver. They don't want to see it, but powder coating actually slows that down.
So it's not just the outside that we're seeing, it's the whole caliper. You take it off, it's powder coated inside and out.
Yes, so to powder coat, you actually, the item has to go into an oven. It has to be baked. So
Right.
there's a colored powder, and then that gets baked, and then there's also a clear that gets baked. Um, so you have to basically take the whole caliper apart, seals, pistons, everything comes apart.
And you send it out for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Take everything apart and reassemble in-house, but the actual
There you go there.
coating goes out. Yeah.
Cool. What about this?
This is a battery drop. So we have made our own table and we drop batteries and repair it internally now.
So you can repair the batteries themselves.
Yep, to an extent. I don't go cell level. I do go module level. So I can replace modules with the same voltage. Try to
Right.
get different modules that share the same voltage, equal voltage. I can't go down to cell yet, but maybe one day.
I'll have to go down and see some of the guys in the States, see what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's guys down there doing it.
They're
Pretty
doing some
cool.
crazy stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really lowered.
That's another Model 3 on with the air suspension and some carbon fiber bits and aftermarket wheels.
Cool.
It's becoming very popular.
And what's this?
That is a battery. So that's a Model S battery opened up to replace the contactors that had some contactor issues. Contactors are basically just a relay to on off. I'm sure everybody's heard their car click. And
Yeah.
turn off.
So you can do some testing to determine what the problem is?
Yep.
And what's this?
That one there was a windshield. So we do windshields in-house as well.
Okay.
We don't take them anywhere. We actually try to do everything, like I said before, in-house. We don't want the vehicles moving. We used to do that in the past, and we actually found, people driving them the way that we don't want other people
Yeah.
driving our cars. So
Now, when you say for a windshield, you do them in-house, do people come to you to do them?
I have,
you
again,
physically do
I have no, I have an installer that I worked with for many, many years. So I've picked a good team of people that for things that I can't do myself to come in.
Right.
People that I've trusted and I've been using them. They're in the industry for a long time, some over 20 years. So I call everybody here and do it here. That way I can quality control it, make sure it's done the way I want it.
Excellent.
Yeah. And we do insurance claims as well. So
There you go. Well, what about that?
that was that was a front end collision with a pole. So certain repairs like that we can do here.
Yeah.
As long as it's not frame damage. If it's a frame damaged car, then I don't do it here. But if it's something that doesn't affect the frame, I can replace everything here in-house.
And how does that work though, from an insurance perspective? Will insurance companies work with you?
Yes, we're approved. Totally
Okay.
approved. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we work with all of them, all insurance companies.
Excellent. So there you go. That's it, right, pulled apart.
Yep.
How are you finding parts availability? I know I've had people, as you probably know, we have, I think, 3 or 4 body shops that are sponsors, and talking to them, it's not just Tesla, but they have issues getting parts where the cars sit idle for quite a long time to try to get the parts. Has that improved at all?
I think that was during pandemic mostly. Everything for this Model 3 that you're looking at there on the screen, I was able to get within a week and a half directly from Tesla. That's from the crash cans in the front to rebars, bumper, hoods. I think a lot of other body shops are backlogged a bit because of the pandemic, and I think that's the main cause.
Right.
But Tesla's been good lately. I get everything within a week.
Okay, excellent. Good to know. A little bit different angle.
Yeah, that shows the crash cans being replaced.
And this one, just showing some fine detail.
PPF being applied in-house.
Okay. Wow, dash pulled apart.
Yeah, that one's a MCU, looks like. Yeah. Replacement of MCU. We still do some EMMC replacements. I know that Tesla recalled it, but some cars are salvaged parts, so we still fix those.
Okay. There you go. There's the screens that we're not supposed to see, but
So that is shows the workings of the heat pump. I recently had a heat pump failure on my wife's Model Y.
yeah.
We drive our cars a lot. She put on 85,000 kilometers in 1 year. So the heat pump replacement I had to do here wasn't under warranty.
Well, that's actually one of the questions that we had, which we'll get to, but I'll ask it now because it's timely. Is do you see any? I know that you and I talked about your wife's car.
Yep.
Like with Tesla, obviously you didn't get anywhere the second go around, but your concern is that they keep on changing the part numbers, so they must be upgrading that part as time goes on. So do you think there's a solution coming there, or have you seen it, the number of instances subsiding, or the same, or where what's going on there?
I think they finally figured out the heat pump issue. It's a little bit of hardware and a little bit of software fixes. Unfortunately, the heat pump on my wife's car went the first month of ownership, so it was replaced with a faulty part at that time. So we had a second heat pump failure a year later, and that was only a month ago. So,
And they wouldn't help you out at all.
I can't say no. They actually did in the end.
Okay.
Thanks to you.
Yeah.
So
he helped you out a little bit then. Okay, good to know.
yeah, the
Good to
fix
know.
was, I was happy with the fix.
And is that they're all disassembled?
That's the components, yeah.
Right.
So not all of that needs to be replaced, but we should replace everything just because of contaminants. So
Same thing here.
that's it all together.
What are we looking at?
So that is the lower control arm in the rear of a Model S.
And they're
Model X, I can't remember which one that was.
quite problematic for some of these, with the squeaking and the creaking and all that fun stuff.
This is the rear, it breaks and then your wheel goes on an angle. It's very common on the older arms. That's been updated by Tesla.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you replace it, you get the newer part and the person's now had the vehicle upgraded.
It is a revised part, yes.
Right. Okay. Same
That's
thing
just
here.
another
Wow.
view of it. Yeah.
Look at that, eh? Unreal.
That's another battery drop.
Same thing here.
Sorry, it's a little bit
Are they easier on the newer cars to drop the battery packs than it was on the original S and X?
They're both the same. Oh, you mean the new refresh stuff like yours?
Yeah.
I haven't dropped one yet.
No? Okay. Yeah, hopefully we'll have to for a while.
Should be very similar though. I don't see them changing much on that.
No. There you go. There's a white steering wheel. Is that from that company you were talking about?
Yes.
So you can specify whatever you want
Yep.
in the way of, and do they do yokes as well?
They do, but we're actually seeing a lot of that stopping lately. A few of my customers have had problems in accidents. So I don't want to touch the subject too much because I'm not clear on what insurance companies standing is on that, but the yokes that are changed from round to yoke on a steering wheel that was designed, or an airbag that was designed to be round, when it pops the airbag, it doesn't pop correctly, apparently. So they're giving my clients issues with that. They're not covering the claims. So far, I don't know for sure. I have to talk to some more of the insurance companies. So right now, we've actually paused installation of aftermarket yokes here at the shop.
Now, in this particular case where the person's changed their wheel, is it a core change? Did they use the original wheel, or they swap it with something else? And
it is it's a used core that the manufacturer or the company that's doing the steering wheel finds. So they redo an original Tesla core.
okay.
And the airbag is still there. So it's an original airbag.
So it's a swap. You give them your old one and they've got that to do for down the road.
No. They find a core for you.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you still get to keep your original
Oh,
steering.
is that right? Oh, okay. I see. Interesting.
The issue is that when you create a yoke from a round wheel, when it pops, it pops weird, right? That's why they're denying the claims. So right now we've put it on pause.
Okay. Good to know. All right. I think that's it for your pictures. Let me just take off the screen share. Stop share. There we go. Okay, and let's just see what people are asking before we jump into this.
Sure.
Somebody asked about parts. Well, I answered that question. Somebody's asked, can you wrap an old Tesla? So I guess it depends what kind of wrap you're talking about. If you want to do a color change wrap, that's not a problem. But if you're going to do a PPF, you're going to still see any flaws underneath the paint, correct?
Yep.
Underneath the paint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the paint's got to be good if you want to put PPF on it. You can still do it, but if it has blemishes and rock chips, you're going to see all that.
Right.
Wraps can be done as long as there's no big corrosion spots. A lot of these cars are aluminum; they still corrode. So, if you want a good wrap, you got to make sure that the paint's still in good shape, right?
Okay. How often should you do a wheel alignment on a stock Model 3 long range all-wheel drive?
Driving in Toronto, I'd say every year at least. At least
Okay.
check it. We're able to check alignment with our machine. It's called a quick check.
Right.
It's a bit cheaper than doing a full alignment, but you can have it checked every year. I totally recommend that.
Okay, perfect. Somebody's asking if you do a square setup for winter tires, do you avoid the warranty in a Model S? I can tell you absolutely no, you don't, because I have a Model X and I use a square setup, or I did in my old one, and I bought those tires from Tesla.
Yeah.
So the tires and wheels came right from Tesla. I went from 20s down to 20s staggered, meaning smaller in the front versus the back. And I bought from Tesla, this is on my 16, 19s square all around, so the same size. So it's not going to avoid your warranty.
I'll chime in on that. So the most important thing is overall diameter. So with the width combination of the tire and the rim, as long as the overall diameter is correct, they won't void your warranty.
Okay, perfect. People are asking how they contact you. So Paul, would you mind putting this in the chat? So Bruno, just remind everybody what your email address is.
The email address for the shop is info@evolutionracing.ca.
You got that, Paul? So Paul,
Yeah, added it to the chat.
okay, perfect. All right, now we'll get into the questions that people actually submitted to when they filled out the forms here. Can you give us a ballpark on the cost to install a hidden tow hitch, including parts and labor on a 2022 Model 3?
I don't have the cost on hand for the hitch. It shouldn't be more than 2 hours of work to install it. Our labor rate is 120 an hour.
Okay, that's pretty competitive.
We try to stay competitive. I know a lot of people have, or a lot of shops have raised that rate. We decided that we were not going to raise it during pandemic, and with the current market and economy, we decided to leave it at 120 for now, and we don't plan on raising it anytime soon.
Now, Bruno, other than sort of the combination of everything you offer, do you do anything specific or special for Tesla Ontario members?
Going back to what I just said, so we decided not to raise our rate. We're keeping it at 120 for now. I don't think that raising it right now is a good idea with the market.
Okay. People asking, can you repair Model X Falcon Wing door issues?
Majority of them, yes. Yeah, we can.
So obviously in warranty, go to Tesla, but
100%. Yeah.
Outside of warranty. Okay.
Yeah.
This person actually put this in his question, probably an impossible question. Do you think your shop might be able to upgrade hardware 3 FSD chips to hardware 4 chips that are expected to appear soon? Same regarding the anticipated radar and next gen cameras.
This is a question that's going everywhere, especially on Twitter. I would say no. Can it be done? Yes, but it doesn't make sense cost-wise. There's a lot more cameras. I hear that it's 11 cameras now. There's a new radar. Can it be added? Yes, it could, but it would cost a fortune to
In many cases, would you have to replace the whole wiring harness sometimes?
No, it can be added on because most of the camera stuff is a single coax. It could be added on. It would be very time consuming, and also there is a small issue that happened recently. Tesla has changed their policies with autopilot.
Yeah.
So anything autopilot 3 and up, we can't program into the car. So any configuration changes that I make would take the car off their network. So no, to answer the question, no. And if we did, it would be on a salvage car, because otherwise you'd be off their network and have tons of problems.
Okay. Next question. I'm not quite sure if I understand. Can you replace the battery soon? I'm not sure what that means, but I guess, assuming it's not the 12 volt, if you had to replace a whole battery pack, could you?
We can, yep. And we do.
So either you buy a salvage or recondition one, or if you really had to, you could buy a new one, which would be pretty darn expensive, but you have the ability to do that.
New one I can't purchase from Tesla. We're not authorized to order new batteries from Tesla. Everything else, yes, but structural and batteries we're not allowed to. So
Okay. Do you install footwell lighting on a Model 3 rear-wheel drive?
sure. Yeah, we can.
And what about those aftermarket displays that you now see many times, like on a Model 3 or Y? So it puts a little display behind the steering wheel.
Tons. We're doing a lot of them. I guess it's becoming very popular.
Most cases, though, do the people bring those to you, or do you have sources for those items?
People usually bring them to us. Yeah, we don't keep
Okay.
that stuff in stock.
Okay.
We can
So
do
what I would say to people is, these items, especially if you're part of the Facebook group or whatever, post and ask for people's experience. But just go on Google search and you can find, for example, I follow Kim Java on YouTube, and she's done reviews of these center displays by your steering wheel, and had some, something you can do it yourself. So you could just go on different forums and different things on the internet and find the good source for these kind of items. Keep hearing about having to clean the brake pads for lack of use. What's your thoughts on how often the brake pads should be serviced?
Very, very important. I would say at least once a year. Brake service is important, especially on these cars, because of the regen, right? And most calipers are raw; they're not powder coated, so that makes it even worse. But yeah, some of them are so seized you can't even move the pad.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does it cost when you talk about powder coating? Can you give us a ballpark on powder coating for calipers?
Powder coating service usually anywhere from $900 to $1,200, depending on what the client wants and the colors. Metallic could be a little bit more, but you get all new seals. Everything's brand new, right?
Okay.
Especially on the older, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Person has a 2016 S and a 2021 3. They're both to come off the main warranty. What should I be checking or seeking to have Tesla fixed before the warranty expires? Or I guess the other part of that question was do you do inspection, pre-warranty expiring inspections to find items that they could then go back to Tesla to get covered?
I do. Yeah, we can check out the car before the warranty expires. Let the client know a big list stuff to get warranted. But yeah, that's definitely something they should consider doing before the warranty ends.
And most cases, I think what people are seeing is some of these suspension issues that Tesla's well aware of, that they're replacing, that kind of thing, right?
Yep. Seized calipers, door handles on older S's, tons of suspension components, all that stuff, right? Rotted out rebars. Sometimes Tesla will replace them. See tons of stuff. Headlights that are half working. So if you can get it under warranty, why not? Right?
Mark is asking, has anyone had an issue where the car drops into park while reversing? The only thing I would comment is, quite often, I've heard this for years, you don't realize it, but you're lifting your behind slightly off the seat if you're turning around to look, and you take your weight off the seat. That's the only thing I can think of. Bruno, would you add anything to that?
Usually if your belt is on, though, that doesn't happen. If it is happening, the belt sensor could be an issue, or even the seat sensor.
So if you're under warranty, get Tesla to check it, go into your app, and if not, you can talk to Bruno, right?
Yep.
Anything we can do to protect the wraps on the cars when the car is wrapped itself? Anything to help protect that? Or, I know, for example, my car, I've got ceramic on top of the wrap. It doesn't really protect it, but it helps keep it clean and make it easier to clean, correct?
Yeah, ceramic only, it doesn't offer any layer of protection. It just makes it easier to clean. That's all that ceramic does. You could PPF over a wrap that is glossy. But if it's a matte wrap, it's gonna look weird with a matte PPF over a matte wrap. Um, but
Right, and I would think
I've done that.
if someone's doing a color change wrap and then they do PPF on top of that, pretty cost prohibitive. It's basically costing you double, right?
It's gonna cost a lot, yeah. Not
Yeah,
double, but you're almost there.
yeah.
What I did on my car, I wrapped my Model S to change the color. I did the Nardo gray, and what I did was I PPF the front end just because wrap is very thin, so rock chips are going to happen on the highway, right?
Yeah, so just to bring clarity, when he says wrap is thin, it's the color change wrap we're talking about.
Color change wrap, yes.
So PPF, paint protection film, which would either be glossy or the matte, it's a lot thicker and it'll both protect your car and on the matte finish, it gives it, the satin, it gives that satin look to it, the matte look to it.
That's right. Yeah.
Don't want to center you out here, but I guess I have to. Richard Gain is saying he needs you to get back to him.
Richard,
He texted you, he said.
so guilty. I'm really overwhelmed with work here. Sometimes when people are trying to call me on my cell phone, I don't get back to them. I have tons of get 50 to 100 messages a day. The best thing to do is really call the shop.
Right.
I don't mind getting calls on my phone, my personal, but calling the shop is a lot better.
Okay, perfect. So if you could just confirm with everybody again, it's just in this order. What's the address of the shop?
Address is 105 Brisbane Road, North York, Unit 7. And our phone number, did you say you wanted the phone number too?
Well, you can do it if you want, but I'm sure people can look it up on the internet. But somebody asked, do you have mobile service? At this point, the answer is no, correct?
No, we don't have mobile.
Somebody else is asking, the question is family minivan with question mark. I don't know what that means.
No, I don't have one.
But
Minivan.
I assume you'll work on any vehicle. If they want to take their minivan to you, you'll work on it, I'm guessing,
We
right?
do. Yeah, we do. I don't work so much on the ICE stuff anymore, but
Right.
we have technicians here that do.
Will you take any touch-up work or minor scratch removals in a Tesla?
Yes.
Assuming you farm that out too, but it's done in your shop, right?
Yep.
Okay. Have you come across any recommendations or other shops in London, Sarnia, because you're only in the GTA?
No, I don't. I don't usually recommend any other shops just because I can't. I don't know how it's going to turn out.
The only thing I can do to anybody that's out there, I will tell you, I've heard very good things about Cyril Wheeler, who's in Interkep.
I have spoken to Cyril. He's a very knowledgeable dude. Very good guy.
So Cyril Wheeler, it's Wheeler Automotive. He's in Interkip. I'm not sure where that is. It's down sort of London way, somewhere down that way. And he is an ex-Tesla tech and ex-Tesla mobile service tech. So he does lots of these pre-warranty expiring inspections, and a lot of the work that Bruno does, he does down that way. So I don't have a problem referring somebody out that way. And I know Cyril as well. So somebody again asking about power front, power trunk. So yes, we do all that. We got that. Upgrades to Model S Plaid. Well, we've already seen them here. You can do suspension kits, wheel calipers, brakes, basically anything that you can think of pretty well you can do with something like a Plaid, right?
Yep.
Do you represent for performance? Is it just Mountain Pass, or are you representing?
I'm a believer. I like to support the Canadian economy, so
Right.
I try to use Mountain Pass whenever possible. They make it
Unplugged.
great.
Have you dealt with Unplugged at all?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff too. Yep.
In your experience, do the new advertised aerodynamic rims and new EV tires combine or offer the true 5% range that they're advertising?
Yes, in most cases, yes.
Yeah, I just saw an ad for a new tire that's coming out. It hasn't physically come out yet, but there's supposed to be a better tire as well.
Yeah.
Powder coating for the brakes. How long do you need the vehicle for?
I need the vehicle for 4 days.
4 days. Okay. Somebody asking about loaners, so we know that. Compared to Tesla service, do you have any idea what your labor rate is compared to Tesla's rate? I think Tesla's is higher.
Yeah, Tesla's 225, I think, now an hour.
Wow. Yeah. You're gonna pay more. What about basic parts like windshield wipers? Do you sell them?
Yep, we have them
Available in
usually
stock?
usually available in stock. Yep.
Okay. And so it's similar to the other question. You can get somebody into stone chip repairs and windshield and that
Yep.
kind of thing too, right? Okay.
Yes.
So I would suggest that anything you want in the way of price quoting to call the shop, and they should always identify themselves as a Tesla Owners Club member, correct?
Yes, I'll try to do my best if they identify as a member. Just let them email. Email is the best way, and then we can,
Right.
you know.
Okay. Now, I think I've seen you do this. Somebody's asking, can you retrofit there's a company that makes the new looking nose cone to retrofit the 15 and older vehicles to make it look like the newer ones. Have you done that?
I actually did it on my car using one of the US companies. I won't mention the name, but I had it on for 2 months and got rid of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fit and finish is just terrible. You get waves in because the materials that they use are not like the original. So I ended up doing the conversion on my car with the OEM Tesla parts. So OEM hood, OEM bumper, all the vents, the grills, shutters, everything was changed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you haven't come across any other third-party company that would do something similar?
There's 2 or 3 companies that make it so that you don't have to change the grill or the hood. I don't know. I didn't like the fit and finish of it.
If you did it with Tesla parts, any way to ballpark the price?
Should be around $6,000.
Okay.
5 to 6, I would think.
Okay.
You can source some of the parts used too. It'll probably take some time to save some money, but yeah. The fit is,
Person's asking about additional cameras. So on the original S and X that only have the single camera, I know that you probably can't put the Tesla cameras in, but do you have experience putting other cameras like dash cams and whatnot in those kind of vehicles?
yeah, we do it all the time.
You do it yourself again or farm it out and they do it there?
No, that's done here by me.
Okay. Similar to a previous question, is there any recurring issues with older Model S that owners should have checked or monitor closely?
Door handles. Lots of
Yeah.
door.
And I know that, you know, George and Stefan and people like that have had those done. So you can replace parts in the handle to make it work rather than the whole unit. Is that correct?
Yes, but we're actually shifting away from that. I'm putting together kits now that's going to upgrade it to the generation 3, so it doesn't use micro switches anymore. So I'll be selling only that from going forward.
Can you ballpark that price?
I don't have pricing yet.
Okay. Contact Bruno directly or the shop.
Yep.
What about experience on making a Model Y quieter? And I would suggest any Tesla. I've seen these things where buy these different seals and put them in the gaps in the roof or different seals around the hatch and whatnot. Do you have any experience with that?
Are they talking about air noise?
It doesn't say, just making them quieter.
Because I know the panels, the suspension's so stiff that you hear a lot of panel noise too. It could be that they're talking about, or air. I don't know.
Any experience with either of those?
Suspension. So we've replaced a lot of suspension to make it softer.
But no sound deadening or anything like that.
No, I haven't done sound deadening yet.
Okay. Person asking about just says Model Y heat pump issue. Well, you pretty well talked about that. But the first thing I would suggest to anybody that's listening here is always go to Tesla. Go into your app. You know, I know that can be frustrating sometimes, but the app is the best way to try to get a hold of Tesla. Try to be elaborate as much as you can, and people should get back to you in a reasonable period of time. You know, in the app, and let you know if they're going to come to you in mobile, pick a service location to go to, that kind of thing. And you know, we don't want to do it for every Tom, Dick, and Harry all the time for all kinds of small things. But if you've got some issues that you're concerned, and I have done it many times, that you think that you're not being treated fairly, get a hold of me directly, and I'll try to accelerate it. See if I can help you out from a warranty perspective or the cost involved. But
the heat pump won't be able. They won't be able to do mobile for heat pump, but definitely if you're under warranty still, contact Tesla right away. They'll take care of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody else said, have you heard of any issues with the Model S parking brake? And if so, can you get parts to fix that? Older Model S.
Older Model S, yes. I'm assuming the one with the dual caliper in the rear. They usually seize up again because nobody ever services them. And they move very little. So they do seize up a lot. We have the components in stock to repair them.
Okay, perfect. Your buddy there asked this question. Can you put to rest the theory about hydrogen being superior to EVs and that it's a better solution?
I'm assuming that was George.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm against hydrogen, hydrogen powered internal combustion or hydrogen electric. I'm against it. I don't think that's the future. I think battery electric is totally the future. Hydrogen stations are very, very expensive and very dangerous. So it doesn't make sense. You also got to transport the hydrogen using diesel trucks. Also doesn't make sense. Battery is here to stay. 100%.
Yeah, and what I always say is, and most people are aware of this, have been around the Tesla community for a period of time, but there's many of us on here that have had Teslas for a long time. I know myself and Lloyd, he's on this call, we've had our Model S since December 2012. And the only other EVs available at that time, I think, were the Nissan Leaf. There may have been like a Mitsubishi iMEV or some obscure thing. And, Tesla is the main reason, in my opinion, why all of the major automakers are heavily involved in EV now.
100%.
And, there's some good EVs out there. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit, frankly, my wife's driving a Hyundai Ioniq 5 and we love it. But good luck getting them. With what Tesla's done with lowering their price and, some of the little programs and incentives they've had, and their availability is far superior to get almost all Teslas now compared to the average other EV. I think they might be able to get the odd Mach-E fairly quickly, maybe some others, but Hyundai Ioniq 5 is almost impossible to get for a year or two. Ford Lightning is the same. I think you can get a Polestar, but a lot of these vehicles are almost impossible to get without a huge, long waiting list. And, I really can't see hydrogen ever coming to the forefront. Even if somebody tried, it would take so long to catch up with Tesla and other EV manufacturers. It just makes absolutely no sense. And the people that are promoting it or believe in it are out to lunch, in my opinion.
And what do you get? I mean, refueling is faster, yes, but these new 3s and Ys and S and X, I mean, in 10 minutes you get 250 kilometers of range,
Right.
Enough to get home and charge at home and continue on, right? It makes no sense. And battery technology is going to get better. I mean, this is fairly new still. The Model S is what, 11 years old.
Exactly.
It's going to get so much better, so much quicker, so much more reliable. I don't see hydrogen ever making it. Maybe on a long haul truck, semi truck situation where you're going from something maybe 800 kilometers plus on one haul. But even then, it would just cost so much money to set up these stations. It would make no sense.
Right. Absolutely. So I think it's a moot point, frankly.
Yeah.
Well, let me just see here. I think pretty well done. Yeah. So does anybody have any more questions for Bruno or for me and the club in general? We've still got 49 people on with us. So thanks for hanging in. Anybody else? Everybody, I think, basically what it boils down to is I've known Bruno for quite some time. There's a lot of club members that have used his shop and the services for a long time with very good results. And we're happy with our partnership, sponsoring the club. But to contact him directly, he can help with almost anything to do with your Tesla for regular maintenance and especially for out of warranty and aftermarket parts. So yeah, for sure. What else we got here? Daniel's telling us that Cyril Wheeler that I was mentioning is closer to Woodstock, and sometimes for anybody here from Ottawa, they have arranged for him to go up to Ottawa periodically. Steve is asking, how can you join the Facebook group? Just look for us, Tesla Owners Ontario on Facebook. And you just have to answer the questions and I'll accept you. So that should be fine. And I think that's about it. Hang on, there's a couple more questions coming in here. Richard Gaines says he forgives you. Have you heard anything about FSD recall? I'm not sure what they're referring to there.
FUD.
Yeah, exactly. FUD, if you don't know, is fear, unknown, and doubt.
They'll be getting an update.
Yeah. This is for any of us. Do we know where the Tesla nav gets their speed limit data? It's terribly inaccurate where they live. In other words, reading speed signs or whatever. I thought that most cases it actually reads maybe it was the earlier vehicles, but some of my vehicles it actually read the speed sign. Is that not correct?
It is, yeah. Even the newer cars now are picking it up on the cameras, but most of the information for speed, it comes from Telnav, not Google, like the map.
So if it's something that's had a recent change or it's a construction zone or something, it may not be totally accurate, but I don't know if that helps. But given how busy Bruno is, what kind of lead time should we expect for an appointment? I guess it depends what it is, but maybe comment on certain things and how long it would take to get an appointment there.
Usually within the week, we can set up an appointment.
Okay. You've got other people other than yourself that are working on Teslas now as well?
Yes, for some things. When it gets to electrical, it's only me.
Okay. And this person's asking about news about the supercharger used by other EVs in Canada. I don't have any news on that. We know that they've recently announced, and there's a big cry on Twitter that Biden finally acknowledged Tesla and said that and reposted that Tesla's going to open up some of their superchargers, not all of them, to other manufacturers, other brands. I haven't heard the time frame for Canada.
What are your thoughts on that, John?
Well, there's different thoughts. I mean, there's no doubt that busy supercharger stations, and I know that when we had that really big cold spell, if you look on social media, I think it was maybe in Vaughan and Mississauga, whatever, they were backed right up, which we've never really seen that much before. It happens a lot in California. I can see that causing a real problem where if there's a Lightning or a Ioniq 5 or a Mustang Mach-E or something in front and people all concerned about it. But whether we like it or not, I think Tesla has to do it to help support the transformation to sustainability like they've talked about. And it helps them in the US for some of their tax credits. And I think that as they add more superchargers, and I know I talk to Daniel Valadares on a regular basis, they're actively working hard as they can to get these superchargers out there. And I know people have got big opinions about why is this one taking so long or why not this one here. And as we've tried to talk about many times, there's many things that are beyond their control for putting a supercharger into a certain location. And even when they're started construction for how long they take and get an approval and whatnot. But
it does need to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. And I know it's inevitably, I can just see a year or two from now, a fist fight broke out because who are you? You didn't, what? I don't. Hopefully, it doesn't happen, but I unfortunately can see it happening.
I actually witnessed that. In Vaughan. Somebody cut in line. There was probably 20 cars behind me, and a Model 3 came and cut in line and tried to plug in, and they got into it. I saw a fist fight right there, right in front of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm just going to answer Mike verbally. He's asking about why you're not seeing some of these questions. I see a webinar chat as well here. So, I don't know whether we have a webinar chat that's separate from the Q&A, but maybe that's where it is. What else? Let me just see. Anything else came through here? Noisy A-pillars in a Model S. Is there a good fix for that? Or does it always need to be adjusted every few years?
So there's two areas that make noise. Incorrectly installed windshields can cause noise.
Right.
And then there's the gaps from the window and the quarter glass from the mirror. So those two components can be adjusted. Obviously, as the car ages, the rubber moldings are getting flat and don't have that sealing ability anymore. So if it's a very high mileage car, probably look into replacing those seals. But an
Okay,
adjustment for sure. Just
okay,
grabbing these cars they're frameless, so just grabbing the window, closing the door can change the position of everything, right? And
okay.
creating.
I don't know whether you can help with this, Bruno. I really don't know much about it, but maybe other people do. Paul is asking us, can we talk about phantom or ghost braking on certain parts of the 400 and the QEW?
So I'm not totally convinced that the phantom braking was a radar thing, like everybody was saying before.
Mhm.
I think it's the telnav. I think it's telnav, the data for the speed. I think it's their issue. I think it's dropping quickly, the speed limit. It's dropping and coming back very quickly. So the car does the braking
Right.
when that happens with the speed limit. I don't think it's a radar because I've been in Model Ys that don't have the radar anymore, and it still does the same thing on the same section of the 400.
All right. Well, I'm just making a note here
There's
for
nothing you
everybody,
can
but
do.
also to Paul. I'm going to send a note to Nazim Tessa and ask him if he's aware of it. And again, these guys are pretty good. You know, if they don't know the answer, they will send it to Tessa and try to get some feedback. So
I think they should design a section in the software where we can submit speed errors along the routes.
yeah.
Have the Tesla owners submit that,
Well, I
right?
mean, I guess what we could try, and Tessa tells us that they do pay attention. There is a thing, you may not be aware of it, all you folks, that you can hit your voice button on the steering wheel and say bug report and verbally report your concern. And some people go, oh, that's a bunch of crap. It just goes into the twilight zone. I've been told, no, there is people at Tesla that listen to that. So if we all do it and they add up, maybe exactly that's what Alice are saying, bug report. So just hit your voice control button, say bug report, and then tell them my vehicle just phantom braked on the QEW at so-and-so from 100 kilometers an hour down to 60, whatever, and hopefully they'll get it.
Good help.
Somebody else, Mike is saying alignment on the highway was moved and Nav thinks it's on the ramp or side road. Yeah, I've seen that. You're in a new part where, you know, especially on the 401, there's all new lanes been added and it thinks you're on the collector lane or sorry, the feeder lane or something like that. It's the ramp or side road, so that could be as well. Rick's asking, what's the time length to for a 12-volt battery replacement? How long will it take to do?
How long does it take to replace the battery?
Yeah.
Within the hour, less
So
than
they
an
make an
hour.
appointment, they can get in and out hopefully in about an hour.
Yeah, unless
Okay.
it's an old model. The rear-wheel drive Model S takes longer.
Okay. Upgrade kit for CCS. I've not heard anything about Tesla enabling more cars, but have you heard anything, Bruno? Or I've been told that you can buy the parts and get it upgraded yourself to take CCS.
On the newer cars, yes, if they're capable, you can change the control unit in the back and redeploy the software. But I'm not sure if Tesla's doing that yet as a retrofit.
Okay, so but have you done any of those yet? Like how does a person tell whether the car can be upgraded? I think they have to look in their software under the about section in their software, right?
That's right.
So if it says compatible, but you don't have it,
It'll say not installed.
right? But you can help them with that.
Yep, we can do it here.
Okay, perfect.
We can order the part, get it in, and install it.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm looking here, Mike. I think people are putting questions in the chat rather than in the Q&A. Steve is asking, what is the purpose of battery replacement? Well, I think what we're seeing is Tesla seems to certain years, especially need their 12-volt battery, which is behind the bumper, replaced more than we would expect. Correct, Bruno?
The 12 volt?
Yeah.
Yeah. The 12 volts usually last 4 to 5 years. I don't see them lasting any longer, but that's the
But
same
we've
thing.
had people where they don't know, all of a sudden their car doesn't work and they don't know why. Whereas
Yeah.
sometimes the newer cars warns you that your 12-volt battery is failing. So
With the current firmware, all the vehicles should give you a warning for the 12 volt.
right.
But that's not just a Tesla thing. It's any car, even internal combustion cars. The batteries don't last more than 5 years usually, right?
Yeah, and I think people, on a regular ICE car, you think about, okay, the batteries needed to help get, to turn over and crank. We don't have that on a Tesla, but obviously it's still needed to turn the systems on and then enable everything to work, correct?
That's right. The 12 volt has to be there to open the car, get things going. Once it's going, then the high voltage battery keeps the 12 volt charged. But if the 12 volt is dead, it doesn't have any more capacity. It can't keep the car on. Right?
Mike saying on his S, which is an older one, I can't remember the year, Mike, he needed a 12 volt battery annually. That's why I think some of the older ones needed them more often for some reason. And the newer versions, like the 2021, 2022 S and X anyhow, use a lithium ion battery, correct?
The newer vehicles, yeah.
Yeah. What about 3 and Y?
Yep, new cars, yep, all the new ones have it.
Okay.
Not completely convinced with that technology yet, but we'll see how that goes.
And Steve's asking about the warranty in the battery. So is there a factory warranty on the 12 volt?
I think it's only 1 year unless the car's new. So if it's new and you have a 4-year warranty, it's covered for the 4 years.
Right.
After that, every replacement is only 1 year on.
Right. Okay. All right. Unless somebody can tell me otherwise, I think I've handled both what's in the webinar chat and in the Q&A. So it's almost 8:30 here. We are an hour and a half. That's about all I've got. But I want to assure everybody, first of all, we threw Bruno's information in the chat there if you need it. You can always look it up. Evolution. It's also under Evolution Racing still, I think, in Google. But or contact me and we can pass you on. But I want to assure everybody, as I said, somebody's got one more message here. Hang on a minute. How much is a replacement 12 volt?
12 volts are cheap. I think they're from Tesla 210, I believe.
And then about half an hour labor at the most?
Yeah, at the most half hour.
Yeah.
I believe a Model 3 is 190, I think, the battery. So
depending on the car, it could be $250 to $300 install.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyhow, as I said, I'm assuring you sort of, or I'm pledging, if you will, that the club wants to be more active with you as a community this coming year. It's been a little bit tough. Spent a lot of time, frankly, as Paul and I were talking about earlier, this incorporating not-for-profit. If you're not aware, there's a lot of hoops to jump through we had to pay thousands of dollars to a lawyer. We had to write all our new bylaws. Just organizing the AGM, which is coming up. All these things took a lot of time, and with less directors, there's less people to sort of share all the duties. And with some new directors, we're hoping to have some new focus on the things that are customer facing. So guest speakers like Bruno, thanks again very much, Bruno. Live chapter meetings with guest speakers, perhaps like we did with Tesla, social functions. I know that you might have seen me put out last summer, Drive Festival, which is at Mossport, asked us to participate, and I thought it'd be something kind of cool that people would want to get involved in, but we didn't have enough people. They wanted to have our cars displayed in their special EV area, and I think that we were budgeting for 10 or 12 cars of different models, and one day we had 10, but the other 2 days we only had 3 or 4. So maybe have to do a poll and see what people want to get involved in. Some people have asked about track days, and some of these things maybe appeal to the minority of members, but we still want to offer them and maybe do a poll and find out whether it's worth doing. And
I wanted to touch on that actually, John.
Yeah, sure.
We do track events for a lot of our other cars that we deal with, ICE cars. I was planning to do a Tesla event. Maybe I can coordinate with you and do something.
Sure. What track do you use normally?
Cayuga, so Toronto Motorsports Park. I want to set up an event where it's going to be all EV for the Tesla Club to come. A lot of people don't want to necessarily race their car, but they would love to come and just hang out, eat, or they want to go for a ride along. We can do ride alongs.
Right.
We can have guys, trained racers to kind of educate some of the people that do want to try their car out.
Yeah.
You don't have to go crazy. I mean, you can go for the experience, right? So
So what do? You have instructors come out as well, though?
that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I
So
think
they'll go with you in your car to instruct you, or you can do it in a ride along, as you said, or it's just a get together. So it's something we can certainly look at. Yeah, for sure. Okay, perfect. So just, yeah, stay in touch with me. Have you ever heard of a guy named Eric Gordon, just while I've got you here?
Eric Gordon, no.
Gordon, yeah. Well, I think he works out of Mossport, but I know him. I do some work with him, and he's an instructor as well. So, but those are all the things that'll be open and what we want to look at for sure. So that's pretty well all I've got. Again, thanks to Bruno and the owners of Evolution for sponsoring us, and thanks Bruno for coming on, and George for helping us. And that's all I can say, folks. So I really appreciate everybody coming on, and stay tuned for the annual general meeting, as I said, and you know, our social functions that we'll organize into the new year. So thanks very much, and have a good day and rest of the week, everybody. Bye now.